to go to San Francisco? I'll go. Far out.
Well, that's sort of how I imagine driving through San Francisco would be like. You see it in the movies, you see those hills, but in reality, it's a lot of stop, go, go up a little bit further, stop, go, drive up a little bit further, stop, go. It was getting a little bit frustrating, and I may have I may have uh, said a few words about it, but you really just don't realise how steep these hills are, and you start to sort of get up to the top end of the town here, and the camera doesn't really show it well here because the GoPro is right up the windscreen. I'm sitting about sort of 3 foot behind where the GoPro is, and I can't see a thing when we go over this hill. And you'll see here it sort of disappears, but it doesn't quite because the GoPro's right at the front. But yeah, it's quite scary when you go over and just going slowly like this.
Things you can't do on the island, and of course, all the special things happening on the island today that you might want to check out. So naturally, I'm going to stall up here on this microphone while we.
Tide coming in. It's pushing the fresh water. The fresh water is the brown water that's coming in from the river, and the seawater is kind of pushing it back. So this is the changing of the currents right now. Even during the military era, there were attempts to escape. So one fellow I'm going to tell you about is John Giles. He was a model prisoner during the federal penitentiary era. He was here for bank robbery and tried to escape from another prison, but here he was a perfect model prisoner, always followed the rules, never got in trouble. So they gave him the job of helping to maintain the dock area. One of the few inmates who could go down to the dock area. So he was down there, and all his uniforms coming in from the army to be cleaned and fresh and sent back to the base. And I bet you can guess what his plan was. Trying to steal a uniform. He's very clever about it. So he found a waterproof canvas bag. He put it behind the building. And one day when the guards were very busy, he snatched a shirt off the rack, put it in his jacket, went behind the building, put it in the bag, came back, nobody noticed. A year later, he stole a pair of pants. A year later, he stole a tie. You're getting the idea, right? After 10 years, he had a complete sergeant's uniform. So now he's watching to see the best day to escape. And there was one day when they were very busy. So that was the day he decided to escape. So he went behind the building, got into that soldier's uniform, walked across the dock, got into the army boat, and the army boat left. He had escaped, right? Except that he didn't know the army boat wasn't going back to San Francisco, it was going over to Angel Island on a work detail. And also he had gone down to the engine room thinking nobody had noticed. I was wondering, what's the sergeant doing down in the engine room? And they asked for his papers. He said, well, I left it back in the barracks. Well, Sergeant wouldn't do that. And then they looked at his shoes. They weren't army shoes. They were prison shoes, different color. So they called over to Alcatraz. They said, are you missing anybody? Yes, we're missing John Giles because they did a head count every 15 minutes. So they sent a police boat over, and as soon as the army boat arrived, the police boat followed right behind, and they arrested him for escaping on the island. So you could say it was a successful escape because he had escaped for 20 minutes. And he was a hero among the other inmates, of course, because he had escaped. But the payoff for him was that from then on, everybody on the island, including the guards, called him Sarge because of that clever escape attempt. But there were others. They got washed out to sea. They didn't know this, but the tide was going out. And that tide is 6 miles an hour. And the water temperature is 50 degrees, 10 degrees Celsius. It's very cold. It only lasts about 20 minutes. And they think what happened was the raft that they made, the pontoon raft, just collapsed. They got into the water and washed out to sea. So that's the official record. However, the angler family said, oh no, somebody's living in Brazil. So the FBI, okay, we'll go down and check, and they searched and searched, they didn't find stuff. So the story is that they didn't make it, but it always may remain a mystery. Now, if I were those guys, I would give myself up, go into jail for a couple of months, get out because of my old age, because I'd be 90. And then I go on Oprah or news or write a book, become a celebrity, worth $1 million. We actually have an inmate here from that era, one of the last remaining inmates. His name is Bill Baker. He still comes out to sell his book. Because when he finally got out of prison at the age of 70, he wrote the book, got enough money to buy a house, got married. He got married inside the cell house.
So you can see here the cells where the famous escape from Alcatraz happened. Um, they removed the vent and chipped away at the hole, and then they had a sort of like a fake paper machete vent, if you remember seeing the movie and stuff. And then they had dummies of themselves lying in the bed to fool the guards. Our visit to Alcatraz, like, you never really know if these things, whether they're going to be overhyped or over touristy or whatever, but Alcatraz had just the right balance. It was a beautiful place. It was somber. It was full of history and stories. Um, we didn't really realise the different uses of Alcatraz over the years. It was an army fortress in the 1850s. It was a lighthouse, I think the East Coast first lighthouse. It was an army or a military prison, I think, as well, before it became the federal prison. Housed people like Al Capone and that sort of caliber there. And then it was sort of occupied by Native American activists before it became a national park. So it's had a bit of a history, and yeah, we highly recommend it. It was really a highlight of our time in San Francisco. San Francisco had a few very unique public transport systems, I guess you'd call them. These ones here, or the yellow one there, was the streetcar. You had the trams, and something a little bit special I had in the video to see yet, but we didn't go on the streetcars. We did go on the trams, and they are probably better placed back when they were designed. They're noisy, they're slow. The um, the service on them is very, very slow. Like just to board people, you see this great big line up. It goes all the way around the loop there and back up the hill on the left-hand side. They only put a few people on at a time. you sit there and you wait, and it seems like there's no action for 10-15 minutes at a time, and then there'll be a flurry of action, and then a lot of standing around. The tip would be is probably not to go to the Fisherman's Wharf end, which is where we just were, and maybe go to one of the other stops, and you'd get there'd be no waiting. You'd basically, as soon as the tram come past, you'd flag it in, jump on, and away you'd go. Yeah, noisy, rough. I imagine they'd be hot in summer and freezing cold in winter, and probably pretty scary going up or down these hills with a bit of rain as well. Still an experience to do, and we're glad we did it. San Francisco is sort of made up of a lot of different sort of cultural districts. There's Chinatown and Little Italy. There was Filipino sort of a section. It's sort of all a little bit compartmentalized in different areas, sort of thing. But we went for a walk through Chinatown, and then we went over and had some food and drinks and stuff over in Little Italy, and yeah, the food was great, the drinks were great, very relaxed sort of a area, very pretty, lots of old buildings, old churches, and yeah, some of the best pizza we've had coming up as well. Hello.
In San Francisco, you've ruined pizza.
They didn't really ruin pizza. The pizza was very, very good. This is Tony's Pizza. It's usually in the top 1, 2, or 3 in the US for pizza, and it's in the top 10 in the world for pizza. Very cool. Huge menu of pizzas. Like, they have pizzas from all around styles: Chicago, New York, Italian, different regions in Italy. Yeah, well worth visiting. So from noisy trams, we went to Waymo, which is the driverless taxis. Pretty cool. We were sort of on a wait list to be able to use them, and then I think on the second day we were there, we got accepted, and then a few days later they actually opened it up for everyone anyway. But at first you had to apply, and we were lucky enough to give it a go.
Should answer your back. It would be good if I could answer your back.
Heading to the Walt Disney Family Museum. Please make sure your seatbelt is fastened. For any questions, press the call support button to speak with a rider support agent.
Oh, look at these beautiful buildings. Fancy living here.
Over there.
these cost a packet, these homes, hon. Look at them.
Watch out for the truck, mate.
Yeah. And the bikes.
It's like a real driver and honks its horn and goes crooked on.
Yeah. She's going to go slow past them. This doofus.
It's like a school kids tour. School kids thing.
I think he should honk the horn.
She probably works out cheaper than because you don't have to tip.
Yeah. It probably can see further than us too, with its light camera at the top there.
Yeah. Now when I checked that video of where I couldn't see as I went over the street, because the GoPro was a little more forward than me, it could just see over. So that's an example there of
yeah.
how it would see.
Just about there. Don't forget your phone, keys, or wallet. Your future self will thank you.
Street food.
Well, look at those chairs.
Yeah. Oh, the museum's in one of these houses.
Yeah.
Little lady, what are you doing? Oh. Wow.
Park's better than me.
You're here.
Yeah.
Wow. They're pretty cool too.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. It was designed and did a good job. Wow.
Carousel.
Carousel. Oh wow.
And we'll circle around. Opera House and the ballet are all here across the street from the City Hall, just coming up. Also, you can rent City Hall for a wedding.
So is that actual gold on it?
Yes, that's real gold.
Wow.
And on the left. In the 1800s, Queen Victoria was reigning, and she had a massive influence on Western culture as well as the Commonwealth. And you were not cool if you did not have a Victorian house. Queen Anne, Edwardian, etc. So San Francisco literally had 50,000 of them. All of them built of our redwood trees. All of them solid wood, kind of tall, 3-story, 1870s, 1880s. But the paint was generally white or cream. Paint hadn't really developed yet. Then came the 06 earthquake and fire. Well, since they were built of redwood, which is fire resistant, 10,000 of them survived. Wow. And also then people started doing colors. You know, you wake up one day and look across the street, your neighbor's house has 3 colors. Now you have to do 4. Mm-hmm. They're just begging for it with all the fascia trim work and the gables, and so the Painted Lady was born. Are a little run down, they're old. Some are very beautifully kept up. Some are actually literally dollar houses. San Francisco has a style of what we call bay windows. Do you see that? Yep. Even if it's not a Victorian, they tend to have that style where they kind of poke out. Now start looking on the left. that's an Edwardian, and this one here is a little more Gothic right here.
It certainly is.
Aber nicht jetzt gar nicht überspektakulär. Oder? It's alive and well. They even have tour buses going through here.
Looks like it should be like a toy store.
Things to do in Haight-Ashbury: get a tattoo, buy a vinyl LP, grab a spiritual Tibetan artifact. Gus's Market is awesome. This produce was picked like 10 minutes ago. Super organic Eastern religions that came with it, and on top of this building, Summer of Love, 1967, and a lot of faces you might recognize if you're older like me.